What's up, everybody? This is podcast Gameoverse episode 146 for Saturday, June 17, 2023. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always by Rick. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Rick. I'm here. Wasabi's here, and we're here to talk about video games.
Yeah.
Let's start. We always start, man. Tell the people what you've been playing.
Yeah. Diablo IV.
Yes. I still haven't picked it up yet. I'm going to one day. I will buy it eventually when, like, all the other shit I'm doing around the house is, like, done.
Yeah.
I know, like, I made this joke before. Like, once I get it, it's like, that's it. That's going to be my life for however long.
Yeah. It's, I know you're a recovering Diablo addict, so I'm going to try not
I wouldn't even say
to...
recovering. I'm just taking a break from Diablo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say recovering. I am an addict. Oh man, but yeah. But tell me about it. Like, you're still playing it, so they're doing something right if you're still playing it.
I'm actually not.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking a back seat for now. I'm putting it on hold
Okay.
until they put out some update. First of all, the game's incredible. The game's absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. I streamed the entirety of the campaign on Twitch and on YouTube. It's all on there if you want to, like, just watch it for the campaign. I tried to only stream the campaign, and then if I was doing something other than the campaign, I just did that on my own time. But the streams are all the campaign, so that's all on the YouTube. And dude, the campaign is fucking incredible, dude. It's incredible.
Is it really?
Yes.
Really?
It is
Ah.
incredible. The story, the atmosphere, the music, the characters, the dialogue, the voice acting, it's all so fucking good, dude. It's so good.
As someone who has, like, I'm sure, like, hundreds of hours in Diablo 3. I couldn't tell you dick about the campaign, dude. Like,
yeah. So that's the other thing. Yeah. So I played through Diablo 3. That was my first Diablo, and
same.
playing through the campaign of this makes me want to actually get into all the lore now, because there's characters that
Yeah.
there's stuff happening. Obviously, it's Diablo 4, so they're continuing on a thing that's been happening. Some characters return. They make references to things that happen, and it makes me very, very interested in the story of previous games, in a way that when I played Diablo 3, I didn't give a fuck about for that. It was just like a loot game, and I was like, fuck the story.
Yeah.
But this, I'm like super invested. It's really good. So
That's really cool.
even the side quests, even the like, they have very good reasons to make you interested in, just the reasons being just, go out and just kill these demons and werewolves and vampires and
Yeah.
shit. But they give you good reasons to do that, even in the side quests. It's like really good.
Yeah.
And everything is absolutely everything is voice acted, even the side quests. So, and it's just a lot
That's
of it.
cool.
There's so much of it. There's so much content. You just get a huge open world map, and you can just wander around and just do shit. There's just shit everywhere. It's like a light MMO almost, because there's just players everywhere.
That's what I really want to get into with it, because, like, as someone who didn't get into ARPGs until, like, Diablo 3. Like, Diablo 3 was, like, the first, like, ARPG, like, I really, really got into, right? And after that, I started going back to, like, Diablo 2, and that's when I got into, like, Grim Dawn and, all these other games. And I noticed there's, like, this stigma around them, that they're built almost cheap. You know what I mean? Like, none of them are, like, voice acted.
Yeah.
Graphically speaking, they're, like, passable. There's never been, like, a true, like, solid like triple A quote unquote like attempt at them that I've seen to like, really put them on par with like other games you can pick up off the shelf. But Diablo 4 seems to be doing that. It's like, no,
Yeah.
this is like a triple A game. It's not just an ARPG. This is a game, a full triple A game that even ARPG fans might be able to get, that even people who aren't ARPG fans might be able to get into.
Yeah. And
Um,
even the cutscenes are like directed in such a way that the camera pans around cinematically, even though you've got this traditional over the head shot you get with these types of games. It stays on that in some of the cutscenes. It stays on that, but then it just pans around while the characters are talking, in this almost like Tarantino esque type of shit, where there's like a dude in the rafters that's like got the camera, and it's really cool just cinematic direction that this game has at times. And then when it cuts into like the full cinematic cutscenes, those shits are directed so fucking well, dude.
oh
It's
yeah, that's something
so,
that they've always done well. Like they're
yeah,
they're like full motion, not full motion video. What am I saying? They're like pre-rendered cutscenes are like
yeah.
incredible.
They're rendered at, well, there's an option in the settings where you could just force those scenes to run at 30 FPS. The only time where my performance dipped below 60 is in those
Yeah,
cutscenes,
yeah.
which I don't know why. If they're pre-rendered, it's not like the engine has to work to render this stuff. But I think it is rendered in engine, just at such a like a much higher resolution and quality. But those shits are great. So like the game's great. I'll say that. Now here's the problem.
Oh shit. Oh
So
shit. Here we go.
you got some problems here. Okay,
You got some beef. Okay.
the sorcerer might be
Yeah.
like playing the game on hard mode. The sorcerer class is
Oh yeah.
fucking, I don't want to say it's dog shit, but the sorcerer class takes a lot of work, work to get it to a viable as a solo player. You gotta work. You either gotta follow the build guides, which is only like one or two viable builds that everyone's using. That's what I hate about these games. Sometimes it seems like if you're not playing the meta, then you're not getting it done. And someone like me, who doesn't like playing the fucking meta, I just like going in and like developing my own character and just seeing how things work.
Oh yeah.
I get fucked, dude. I get
Yeah.
fucked.
Diablo 3 is like you can get through the campaign just fine, but if you want to do like the end game, run rifts, like yeah, you gotta like follow the meta. And
This game is extremely difficult. Dark Souls at times, where they give you this dodge mechanic. The dodge is on a cooldown. You can increase how many times you can dodge. Like sometimes your boots will have an enchantment on it that'd be like, hey, you get one extra dodge, but it's on a cooldown, so you can't rely on it to get you out of danger. For the sorcerer, I don't know, I haven't tried the other classes yet, but for the sorcerer, you get some movement abilities. Those are also on a cooldown. You get a barrier ability that lasts, I don't know, like 10 to 12 seconds. It's also on a cooldown. So what I'm saying is there's not a reliable way, if you're solo at least, there's no reliable way to mitigate damage. So
yeah.
there's also not a reliable way to get your resource back. Your basic, as a sorcerer again, your basic spell, yeah, your level 1 spell, the one like their first resource using spell, you can get 3 cast of it before you run out of mana. Three
Yeah.
cast. And so you're like, it's just not, it just doesn't feel great, at least for the first like 50 levels.
Oh shit.
Until you like get like, it's very heavily based on, you really got to build your shit out in terms of your gear, and you're not going to get good gear until you find what the fuck you're looking for. So there's, for the sorcerer, there's this thing called lucky hit. I'm gonna really get some deep into some shit here. One of the game's problems is that it doesn't explain very well any of its mechanics. So on the skill tree, you keep seeing this thing called lucky hit. Lucky hit 50%, lucky hit 12%. And I didn't pay any attention to it. I was like, oh, it must just be like I have a 12% chance of this happening or whatever. But lucky hit is like a chance on a chance of a chance. You ever seen that like Dumb and Dumber meme where it's like, so there's a chance. This is like, so there's a chance of a chance of a chance of this happening. And it's some fucking insane shit because all of your shit, like all of the good shit for the sorcerer is based on this lucky hit thing that they never explain. I had to go outside the game and look up a bunch of shit just to figure out what's happening. And what it is that when you hit something, anytime you hit something, there's a chance that it's a lucky hit. And when you get a lucky hit, there's another chance on that chance that a thing in your skill tree can occur. Anything that triggers off of lucky chance, any of those things can trigger. So one of those things is like, hey, remember how I said there's a cooldown on everything? Well, there's a lucky hit chance that resets your cooldown when you hit something that triggers a lucky chance. But it's not just that though. There's also lucky chance and critical strike chance, and sometimes both of those are intertwined. So not only do you have to get a lucky hit, you also have to get a critical hit, and you know your critical hit also has a chance of happening, and your lucky hit has a chance of happening, and then on top of that there's a chance that this chance of chance shit happens. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like there's no, it's so unreliable. Some of the like core shit that my build is based around is all based around this lucky hit shit. And I'm like, that's where I got frustrated, basically, where I finally realized that none of my shit is really reliable because it's all based on a chance of a chance of a chance, and it's just not it's not fun. It's not it had me thinking like, I'm gonna change this class, dude. I can't play this class anymore. So that's where I'm at with this game right now, where it's I was playing on world tier 1, by the way, like the easy mode world tier. I unlocked the nightmare difficulty, but to do that you have to go through, I had Hamtaro help me out. You have to do this fucking dungeon that is just absolutely insane. I rage quit. I was streaming it and I rage quit at the end of the stream because the boss just,
oh Jesus,
yeah, it was just like bad. It was bad. And then so there's things in this game that just this doesn't make sense. The sorcerer class just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Like it has the potential to be really fucking good, and there's equipment that you can get that boosts your lucky hit chance, but I don't have any of that fucking equipment. And to get that equipment, I have to crank the world tier and I don't know, just get all these like random fucking drops for the chance that it'll have the thing that for the build that I'm trying to go towards. But out of all of the equipment I ever got, I'm like level 52 now, which is where your Paragon shit starts.
Yeah.
I only have 2 pieces of equipment that boost my lucky hit chance, and I have 1 piece of equipment that boosts my critical hit chance. And my entire build is focused around this lucky hit and critical hit shit, and I just don't have the equipment to support it, and I don't have the gold to support, upgrading the stats or whatever. Like I just don't have I don't have anything. So I just have to, it's like super fucking, I got to play the loot game now of,
yeah.
It's just, so that's where I got frustrated. So that is where I'm at with the game right now. I figured I would just not play it anymore until they put out some updates to maybe address some of that stuff. They did a little fireside chat stream that said, yeah, we're gonna focus on, yeah, we're gonna see the resource gain rates or whatever and stuff. It sounds like they're gonna do some stuff here towards the first season, which hasn't started yet. So yeah,
That'd be
there's
cool. I'm just like that's unfortunate. That's a big part of like the game. I think is like the end game relies on a lot of that stuff, but you shouldn't have to be dealing with that through like the main campaign. I think.
yeah. The problem is, well, you don't really have to do it. The main campaign, I just set it to world tier 1 because tier 2 is just I couldn't handle it. I couldn't, like, once I got to a certain level, none of my gear was good enough to support my class or my build, the build I was going for. So I just had to like crank it down. I had to crank down the difficulty. But for the sake of the campaign, you can do the whole campaign on World Tier 1, but they force you to increase it to Tier 3. You have to play on Nightmare to get to do anything after you finish a campaign. So that, and I can't fucking do that. So not solo. And the problem is they don't have they've created this MMO like system where there's a tons of other players that you can interact with, but there's no way to there's no, like, what's it called, like there's no finder. Like if you want to do a dungeon, there's no like party finder, so you can't really party with other people unless you, I don't know, like go into the city and you're like, hey, does anyone want to help me with this fucking dungeon? And no one like does that either. Like no one's chatting. It's like this, like, it's like an MMO light where no one's interacting with each other. It's really weird. So like
That is weird.
all the community features just seem hollow almost, to the point where, you know, you're required to play online. You can't pause the game at all. You can't do anything. Like when the servers go down, you're fucked. And it's a bummer because all the stuff that they're trying to facilitate here just doesn't really, where no one's really interacting with all the social stuff. So it makes it really difficult as a solo player to just jump in with someone else who might be doing the same dungeon. You can't really do that yet. So I think that's something they're trying to add. It's shit like that to make it really difficult to play or to make any progress when it's difficult to party up with people. So
Yeah.
that's what I think about Diablo. So it's a great game. Just play the campaign. You can do that solo, and then after that, just maybe, I don't know, wait for them to update.
See, that's my problem. Like once I beat the campaign, I would absolutely get stuck like that loot trap of just
Yeah.
like grinding for loot. Like that's me. I recognize I have that problem.
Yeah, which I was doing, but I just wasn't finding anything that had the shit on it that I needed. So I just got frustrated. I was just like, I'm just gonna stop. I feel like they're gonna change. I feel like they're gonna change a significant part of what I'm complaining about pretty soon, because it's stupid. There's one viable build for the Sorcerer, and everyone's using it. And if you're not using it, you're fucked. So
I heard about that. Yeah, there's only
yeah,
like one like really viable way to play the Sorcerer right now.
yeah. So um, other
I'll
than
pick it up
that,
eventually. You also played Shantae, right? Like
yeah, I'm playing Shantae on my Steam Deck.
that game's incredible. Half Genie Hero, it's fucking incredible.
You played it?
Yeah, I got it on Switch like forever ago on sale. And that game, like specifically like that definitive edition, like holy shit, there's so much content in that game, dude. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I think so there's a bunch of characters you can do. There's obviously the main Shantae campaign, but then there's also like side characters who have their own campaign. I think they're all kind of just adjacent to, there's not a lot of content actually, but they recycle a lot of content in these other campaigns, that because there's only 6 stages, so the other characters all have their own thing, but they all go through the same stages. And
The stages are like tweaked to fit their stuff
yeah,
specifically,
yeah,
but yeah, but it the change to the gameplay that it does is like worth it.
Yeah.
I'm a Devil May Cry player, so like if when someone says, "Oh, it's a new campaign," but all they do is just recycle the old campaign with the same characters, like I'm okay with it. I'm not new to that, like to that format. But the changes the characters bring to the table, because they need to tweak the stages a little bit to fit those characters, is really cool. Like the way those characters play, like it changes the game quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
Ninja Shantae is like really fun to play as. Like Risky's really fun to play as.
It's
Like I think they're fun. They're fun
it's a
to go
fun
through.
game. It's a very easy game. Actually, the most difficult part is just there's some really difficult like platforming sections in some of the stages, but other than that, it's a very easy game. So
Yeah,
it's not, yeah. It's a pretty just laid back, chill, just fun game to play. It's almost
yeah,
like
it's not overly difficult like at all.
the main like Shantae campaign is almost Metroid. It's like Metroid. It's pseudo Metroid because
Yeah,
there's 6 distinct levels, but within those levels are things that are barriered by certain abilities, and you can run through each stage with like the base abilities, but then you'll pick up a new ability in like stage 5, and you're like, oh shit, there was a part in stage 3 where I could have used this ability, and so you go back and rerun the stage, and there's like different stuff to find. So it's pretty cool. It's
yeah.
pretty good. Really easy to collect everything, and just, yeah. I'm enjoying it. I'm on the final level. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm like at the very final. I got everything. I pretty much got everything now, and I just have to finish the game. So it's great. I think
Yeah, the game's fun. The game's like super fun.
it's like 20 or $30, so it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's a good game. I played through it. I had fun with it. Yeah, I think it's good as hell. Like, I'm not like a huge fan of the Shantae games. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm like a Shantae super fan. I play it's just like the GB, the Game Boy Color game,
Yeah,
because that's not what I did. I didn't play it till like Risky's Revenge, like a couple years ago.
yeah,
And they're good ass platformers, man. If you like good platformers, I think like that's kind of that might be way forward, like at their best. Like they're really fucking good. Um, I'm still playing Tears of the Kingdom. That game's still fucking incredible. Like
yeah. I need to get back to
playing
that.
through it, I'm discovering new shit. I'm playing through it and I'm learning all this cool shit to do in the game. Like every time I feel like I figure this game out, it just shows me more cool shit to play with. And like my brother just got it, so he's playing through it. And hearing him like talk about it enthusiastically, like got me to start playing it again. I took a break for a little while because of other games I'm playing. We'll go into right now, and hear my brother like talk about it. I'm like, okay, I got to get back into it now. How far did you get? Did you ever do like a temple?
No, no. I
Those
was,
are
yeah. I started the Rito stuff the last time I played, so I got like
play
the
through
kid.
that because the temples are like they feel like proper Zelda dungeons now.
Okay, okay.
Like my biggest complaint of Breath of the Wild was like how fucking boring the Divine Beasts were. Like they were cool, don't get me wrong, but like it didn't play like a Zelda dungeon. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're kind of boring. It felt like a shrine, but like bigger. And that's not what these temples are. These are like proper Zelda dungeons. You get like a power up to use at the start of it, and you use it throughout that temple. And at the end of it, you get to keep it, and it's really really cool. Like it's a lot of fun. It feels like a proper Zelda dungeon now, and the way the game lets you solve puzzles is really cool. A lot of the shrines are like super neat. I love the shrines now. A lot of the shrines like teach you shit about the game, which is really cool to play through. Like they'll teach you like certain mechanics, or they'll use like a specific power throughout the shrine, and you have to come up with creative ways to use that power. Like I didn't think to use, and this is gonna sound silly, I didn't think to use the rewind power to like set off switches, right? Like it was like a pressure switch. I didn't think to like pick up a block or something, hold it over the switch, drop it, and use the rewind power to rewind it back to when it's suspended in the air and leave it there to trigger the switch for me. Like I didn't think about that until I started playing through that dungeon and I came up with it. Or like using lifting an object using rewind to hold it in the air and then using ascend to go through the object. Like I didn't think about that until I started playing through these dungeons. Like not these dungeons, these shrines. The game's incredible, man. Like it's seriously just one of the best game experiences I've had in a very long time. And it's a testament to the gaming landscape now because here's a game that's been in development for like what, 5-6 years? And it comes out and it's fucking awesome. Like it's generally bug free, nothing like really egregious or game breaking that I've noticed in it. The game runs really well on the hardware it's designed to, and it's sold like what 30 million copies in the first like week, 10 million copies the first week, something like that.
Yeah.
Like here's a game that like no, it's a good ass game, and we took our time with it, and it came out working as intended. And I'm a little pissed off like other devs can't do that on much newer, much more powerful hardware. Um, but yeah, enough blowing Zelda because everyone knows it's a good game. So I've also played. I'm on a Devil May Cry kick. So the DMC Devil May Cry reboot was on sale, so I picked it up. And that's like it's not bad. Like a lot of people, I talked about this like last show. Like a lot of people are super mean on the game for like no reason, and it's still a decent game. It's a fun action game. The dialogue's a little like edgelordy, but the game itself is pretty fun. Like it's a fun action game, and I think everyone was too hard on it when it came out. What I really want to talk about, so I finally like really started playing Cassette Beasts. And those of you who don't know, like, this is a game I was excited for a little while, but it came out at like really bad timing when the game came out because like I was in the middle of my move. I just bought a house. And then after that, like Zelda came out, so that took up all my time. It still took up a lot of my time. But Cassette Beast finally dropped on Xbox a little while ago, so I'm like, okay, I'll download on Xbox and play for a little bit just to get into it. And yeah, the game's fucking incredible, man. It's legitimately got a good story. So already it's like ahead of Pokemon in a sense of like, being a game. And on top of that, the mechanics of it are so much better than Pokemon is. Like, so it has type advantages, right? But it's got a whole new system on top of it. So instead of just doing more damage, which would have been fine if they just did that. If they're just like, hey, this attack does more damage against this type of monster. It's got what they call, I think they call it their chemical reaction system. So certain elements not only do more damage or less damage to each other, but they also react off of each other and can do all kinds of things. They could cause status effects, cause buffs, cause debuffs. I saw one if you use a fire attack on a wind enemy, it causes an updraft and gives that enemy like an air shield for 3 turns.
Oh.
Like little things like that. If you use fire on a plastic enemy, it doesn't do more damage, but it melts them, quote unquote, and changes their type to poison.
Wow.
If you attack a fire monster with the poison ability, the poison like fuels the monster and gives it increased speed for the next like couple turns. So little things like that are like really neat in the game. Like that's something I thought was really, really cool to be able to do that. If you hit like a metal monster with poison, you poison tip it, so the monster now has contact damage every time it does a melee attack. And it's really cool the way the game works. Like it's something I wasn't expecting in the game when I picked it up, but it's really neat. Like it takes a while to get the hang of, but when you start seeing like how these effects can totally change the game up, like it's really, really cool because now you're not just trying to hit with the strongest attack, you're also trying to keep in mind of like, oh, if this thing hits me, it's going to slow me down for the next couple turns. Not only am I going to do less damage, but not only is it going to do a lot of damage, but it's also going to slow me down for the next couple turns. Or, um, you know, in the Pokemon games, if your level was high enough, you can just overpower monsters, even if they weren't weak to you or they're effective against you. Now with those buffs and debuffs, it might not be worth it to like hit that monster, even if you can one shot it. If it causes a debuff on you, you might want to avoid hitting it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's really neat the way it works.
Does it take into account if it's like a ranged attack you're using? Like say
Yes.
you like use
So
like a
there's
water
ranged
gun.
and melee attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's ranged and melee attacks, and some attacks do. So like that contact damage, for example, if you have a metal monster and you hit with a poison attack, doesn't matter whether it's ranged or melee, that monster has contact damage. So for the next like 3 turns, anytime it does a melee attack or a monster does a melee attack against it, the other monster takes contact damage of poison. So now it's like, oh, now this fucking melee wall has this like poison contact. So now I gotta resort to using ranged attacks so I don't get hit by that poison contact. It's really cool the way it works, dude. And that's not even talking about the captains. So the game has its own version of gyms called Ranger Captains, right? But they all have their own gimmick. It's not so much about like a type, but like a monster. And they'll have a certain gimmick with that monster. Like for example, there's this one monster called a Stardigrade. It's a tardigrade, but with an astral typing. And what that does is its whole move set is around, it's got low speed but high defense. So its whole thing is like being a wall. And it's got skills that make it fall asleep. And while it's sleeping, it can like build up more AP, which is like the points you use to cast abilities. And or it could heal itself while sleeping. Now, sleep works really interestingly in this game. Like in most games, when you're sleeping, you can't do anything, right? Like that's the thing. You're asleep, you can't attack or defend or do anything for like a set amount of turns. In this game, it's a little bit different. When you're sleeping, it changes your move set. So you lose all your moves while you're asleep, and you have 3 moves. Sleep Talk, which is a range attack. Sleep Walk, which is a melee attack. And Summon Tulpa, which is like an attack that summons like a spirit guide to like fight with you. Now, the gimmick is that all those abilities have a 1% accuracy. So they do very good damage. They're very effective, but the accuracy is only 1%. So you might as well just like call that turn wasted. If you can pull off one of those moves while you're sleeping, great, but you can't rely on it at all because it's only a 1% chance of it actually doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all battles in this game are 2v2. That's another thing that separates it from Pokemon. So you're always going to have a 2v2 fight here. And this guy, his whole gimmick was like always like a sleepy, lazy captain. So his monster is a Stardigrade. So he's using abilities to like attract my attention, you know, pull attacks towards him. He's sleeping to regain his health. But his partner is casting an ability called Sure Shot, which makes his next attack 100% accurate.
Oh.
So suddenly now, like, I'm like, oh fuck! Now I got to deal with him, like being able to pull off these attacks. And these have high damage, like they're like 100 damage. And to give you an idea, like a standard attack is like 30. Like your standard non-resource costing attack is like 30 damage. So this dude's able to pull off these attacks, do a ton of damage with them, with 100% accuracy because his partner's like buffing him up.
See, I like that. I feel like Pokemon, even when they did do like the doubles and triples shit, they always acted as an individual. It never felt like they were ever buffing each other or working as a team. It was just like, well, I'm here and you're here. We got 2 Pokemon, you got 2 Pokemon. Let's just kill each other. It didn't really seem as tactical as that.
Yeah, this one's very tactical. Like there's this one character who's like whole gimmick is that like her thing is on chance. So she has a lot of abilities that have a chance of effect. And they're like really good chance, like they cause a status effect or a debuff or buff her or even attack again. and she has abilities that buff those chances up. So you gotta take her out like quick before she can like buff herself up enough that she's almost guaranteed to pull off some of these chance abilities. It's really, really cool the way it's handled, man. Like, I'm super into it. And it doesn't all and also like the characters are super interesting. So the world of Cassette Beasts is this weird like alternate reality people are waking up in, and from the demo, I made it seem like, oh, these are people from like all across different times getting stranded here. So people are like talking to each other, making references, and like I'll talk about the internet, and people will be like, "What's the internet? What is that?" And but you also learn that like not only are they from different points in time, but also like different planes of existence. So some characters will like reference like a music album, and other characters will be like, "What are you talking about? That song wasn't on that album, or the artwork didn't look like that." So that kind of
Oh,
lets you know that like, oh, not only are they from different time periods, they're also like different like timelines. At least it seems like.
yeah.
Um, and you can get party members too, and you can build a relationship with them, and you can play through certain story quests for them, and you learn more about them, and they're all super interesting. This is like a really, really fucking good game, dude. And that's not even going to talk about like the ability. So every move your monster gets is called a sticker. And those stickers are what give your monster their moves. Some of them are active abilities, you use them in a fight. Some of them are passive, they work in the background, do things like increase damage when your health is low. But every sticker you unlock for that monster, you can peel it off, put on another one. Now, certain monsters can only take certain stickers, but you can take stickers, mix and match them from monster to monster, and do some crazy builds with it. And stickers are a resource you could find too. So every sticker you find has a chance of being a regular sticker or having some added effect to it, like, oh, increased damage if your speed is higher, or after you use it has a chance of like poisoning a monster, or for every empty sticker slot the sticker does 2% more damage. You can get these random stickers that are just standard abilities that have these added effects on them that seem kind of random, and you can mix and match those. And when monsters level up, they have a chance of getting like a regular sticker or some sticker with added effects. And I was even talking about bootleg monsters, which are like this versions of shiny monsters.
I like
But
that.
unlike Pokemon, where shiny Pokemon are just the same thing, but different color schemes, these monsters are different typings, so they can learn different moves.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I
Yeah,
need
dude.
to I need to
It's
play this.
It's fucking good, dude. It's really fucking good. And the puzzles are legit like really good too. Oh my god, I can't even describe like how much fun I'm having with this game, dude. It's an RPG ass RPG. Like I feel less like I'm playing Pokemon and more like I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei. If that like gives you an idea of like what to expect here.
Yeah.
And it's as challenging as you want to make it. You can go into the options menu, you can adjust puzzle difficulty, level scaling, even AI like intelligence. You can even modify the intelligence of opposing monsters, so you can make enemies as smart or as dumb as you want them to be. Um, I have everything set to default right now, and it feels pretty fair with the way it works. Um, Also, even the way the game uses energy, because in Pokemon each move has what are called like power points. So some moves have like 5 power points or like 30 or 20, and every time you use a move you use up a power point, right? That's the idea. And so you can't like spam these moves. If you're going through a dungeon, you can't spam a lot of your moves because then you won't have enough points to deal with it later. In this game, it's a refillable gauge called AP. Every turn you get 2 AP, and you can use that AP to use your move. So you start with 2 at the start of it. So you can use like 2 AP moves from the start of a fight. And at the end of the fight, it doesn't matter if you spam it, like, because that's refilled throughout the fight, right? So there's some encouragement there to just to not use to use like some of these skills, to use some of the stronger skills initially to get the fights over with, or even save up those skills so you can build up enough to use a really powerful move. And it's really, really cool the way the game plays, dude. Like I'm not doing justice really describing it, but it's really, really clever the way the game handles its RPG system. I really like how fun it is, how good the story is. I'm actually like really invested in what's going to happen next. The characters are all super interesting, and they have their own like motivations for doing what they're doing. Oh, and even then, I forgot to mention, when you beat a captain, you can find this resource called fuse material, and you can use that fuse material to spend back at the starting town to unlock perks for your character, things like discounts at shops, or faster AP gain, or starting fights with higher AP. And the really good stuff, you got to beat a certain amount of captains to get it. So you're not just collecting gym badges to get to the end of the game. Now it's like, oh, here's some perks you can get for beating all these captains. And you can fuse your monsters with your partner. So that's a thing. That's like a whole other mechanic I don't have time to talk about right now. But as you start to develop the relationship with your partner, you can fuse your monsters together and create even more powerful monsters for that time. And depending on how good your relationship is, the stronger that fusion monster ends up becoming. And there's a whole fucking bestiary just for fusion monsters, by the way. So that adds like another 400 something monsters to the game. If you're a big like completionist, there you go. It's just, there's so much here. This game is very, very special. And as someone who grew up with Pokemon but wanted to see it evolve, this is it. Like, this is the evolution that Pokemon needs. If you like that Pokemon mechanic, if you like Pokemon as a concept but don't like what Nintendo's doing with it, this game is gonna tick a lot of the same boxes for you, but also like challenge you as an adult RPG player. There's even multiplayer co-op. Local co-op is in that game too. Since the game, you always have a partner with you, you can play local co-op on that game too. So another reason to like pick it up. As far as I know, there isn't like any player versus player connectivity yet, like trading monsters, battling other players. But to be honest, because the game itself, you can make some pretty broken combinations. It's not balanced to be competitive. It's balanced to be like, a role-playing game. So I don't mind that so much that I can't like fight other people with my monsters. Because, that'd be like putting player versus player in Final Fantasy X or something. Like, there's no reason to do that. It would be really unfun with how broken you can make the game. I talked about this game enough. Again, Cassette Beasts, it's incredible. Go pick it up. It's on Game Pass or PC and Xbox. Even if you don't have that, it's like what, $20, $25 on everything else. Just go play it. It's a fun game, very deep, very methodical, and I love it, man. I love it so much. Moving on. We have a lot of stuff happened since our last show, but what we really want to talk about is the Starfield Direct that happened the other day.
Yep.
Honestly, I just want to talk about this for a while because this game looks cool. Let's start off with a piece of news has been making a lot of rounds lately, but the game's going to be running at 30 FPS on console. A lot of people are justifiably pissed off about it. I heard one take that I almost agreed with until I put some actual thought into it and I realized, no, it's a dumb fucking take. That's IGN of all places. So
okay,
they tried to argue that, yeah, the game runs at 30 FPS, but like, look at like how open the game is. Look at that scene where that guy has that room just for cheese, or not for cheese, for sandwiches. Like, with that kind of freedom, it's gonna be a struggle to run it at anything more than 30. So I'm okay with putting up with that.
That's a dog shit take. That is a dog shit take.
Yeah.
I will use
first
that.
I was like, okay.
I'll use that defense in other aspects, but not the frame rate.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, that makes sense. I put thought into it. I was like, wait a minute, no, because like the Xbox Series X is supposed to be the most powerful console on the market right now, and you're not pulling 60 FPS on that. Other games, other Bethesda games had those same mechanics, and they were able to pull off 60 FPS on console. And yeah, that's a dog shit take. I was really like, at first I was like, okay, I could see that, but then as I thought about it, I was like, no, that's
I mean,
fucking
what
dumb.
will be their excuse
Especially
for
since
Redfall?
exactly, especially when like if you remember when the Xbox Series X was like announced, they announced this is the most powerful system on the market. We're designing this to be the most powerful system you can buy. We games can reach 120 FPS on this. Games can run 60 FPS at 4K on this, and I haven't seen any games pull that off yet.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
It's
so
the problem is I don't have. I'll start by saying that I don't have an issue with it running at 30 on consoles.
yeah,
I don't have an issue
me
with it.
neither. I got a PC.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm gonna be playing it on PC where you should be playing these games anyway. But
Yeah,
I will say the 30 FPS is fine as long as the game is good, right?
yeah,
As long as it's good
yeah,
and it's playable and they've optimized it for playability at 30 FPS, then it'll be fine because
yeah.
we
Tears of
can
the
sit
Kingdom runs
here.
at 30
That's
FPS.
what I was gonna say.
That's
Like we
fine.
can like mostly 30, but yes, like that's the thing. Like Tears of the Kingdom can look how the way it looks, run the way it runs, but since it's a good
On the
fucking
hardware
video
it runs
game,
on.
yeah,
Yeah,
since it's a good fucking video game, nobody really cares, right? It's a good video game first, and they've optimized that part of it, and it can run however it needs to run or look however it needs to look to maximize the playability or the gameplay aspect of it. So I'm fine with that. Everything they've shown from this game, I'm on board with all of this.
yeah,
So
dude.
it'll look however it looks, it can run however it runs, but it's the game here that I'm with. So but I think that on the other side, it is a problem. It's a problem that we're so hyper focused on this fucking 4K, guys. Everyone needs 4K HDR, fucking quality graphics and all this shit, motion blur. And it's like no one like I think the biggest lie that's ever been told is this like 4K bullshit where no one's really like 4K. I still feel like 4K is really not mainstream yet, even though they want to sell you and market you this idea of like 4K, this is what you want. It's like not what really anyone really cares about. I mean, you can make a good looking game at 1440p at 1080p,
Yeah,
and people will be absolutely fine with that. And then you can have your and then you can still crank up the graphics even more, just have a lower resolution, then no one would be have an issue with that. And then at the same time you can also have a higher frame rate at the same time. So I think the bigger problem is just this lie that they're trying to convince you that 4K is this hugely sought after fucking feature. You can just look at even on PC, like the Steam survey that they do every season, everyone's still at like 1080p, or they're doing like multi-monitor 1080p. Like 4K
yeah,
4K still isn't even mainstream. So I don't know
yeah,
why they keep targeting this shit when people really don't give a fuck about 4K. So I think that's the bigger issue.
yeah.
So
It's not like this mainstream tech yet, and you're right. It's interesting that a lot of these developers want to tackle that when it's not that common. Like, I don't own any 4K displays. I don't have a 4K monitor. I don't have a 4K TV. Even if I did have a 4K monitor, honestly, I'd probably still be playing at 1080 to get
yeah.
like the max frame rate I could. And
Most people's best display in their home is their phone.
yeah, Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny to get caught up in like, the finer performance stuff when it's not even that feasible for most people. Um, but what they showed off on the game, though, like what you can do in it, the amount of freedom, the way you can build your character out. Oof, man, I'm excited though. I'm still
Yeah.
excited for it because I'm gonna play it on PC. You know, the best way to play it. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about really early on, like the first like minute 40 seconds, we're talking about, oh, this is our first like new world in over 25 years, but it's not just one world, it's over 1,000 worlds.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you being literal right now? Like there's 1,000 different like
Well,
worlds I can explore in this
they keep
game?
saying that over and over. There's like over 1,000 planets. I don't know if they count moons in that, because a lot of the planets are going to have moons. I don't know if that's counted in 1,000, but they say 1,000 planets, over 1,000 planets. So
Yeah, that's why like can I see what that like looks like? Is it like No Man's Sky where these are randomly generated, or
yeah.
did you actually go and craft 1,000 worlds? I doubt you did,
Well,
but
no, they explained how that worked. They explained it in the thing. They said
I don't remember.
that all of the planets are procedurally generated. They have a
Okay,
system that procedurally generates the planet, the terrain, the landscape, all that shit is procedural, but they've handcrafted a bunch of
like
content.
events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is randomly for every player. Once you approach a planet, it's randomly generated, and then those events are randomly sprouted across the planet as you approach it. So
Okay,
even if two players go to the same planet in their games, it's gonna have different shit on it.
I like that. Okay, okay. I admit it's like a 45-minute presentation.
I
I
watched
have
it
a
like
child,
seven
so I couldn't
times,
watch the
so
whole thing.
yeah,
I
no, I
couldn't
got
watch the
you.
whole thing. I got a couple things into it. I got super into like the character creation and the skills and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
the character
I
creator
like
looks like
the.
dog shit, by the way.
It looks like dog shit, but I mean, I think most Bethesda character creators are kind of like that. um,
Yeah,
what I do like though is like, what do they call them? They're not perks. They call them something else, but you can basically take on these like, I think they call them perks. These aspects of your
like
character.
perks or skills, or I think it's skills.
Yeah, or you can take on these like aspects of your character creator, like their background. So things like, you know, the adoring fan, which is like a reference to like, what was it, Oblivion, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
Um, there's another one where you're what was it? We had like a bounty on you, so you had increased like stats, but randomly like hit squads can show up and randomly try to kill you throughout your game. Um,
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of like Fallout New Vegas because that had a lot of the similar aspects. You could take
Yeah.
on like all these like feats that like gave you different traits, but they also had a drawback to them. So stuff like, oh, increase like what was one, four eyes, or it's like increased intelligence, increased like a bunch increased a bunch of stats if you're
Sub's the
wearing
Roblox.
glasses.
Sub's the Roblox.
Wait, what?
Sub's the Roblox is in chat. He said
Oh,
first.
hello, Soups. Hello, Soups. But yeah, like New Vegas had that like four
It's
eyes
it's
skill where
very
it's like
New
increase your stats,
Vegas.
but it lowers when you're not. Yeah, but it lowers your
Even
stats if you're not like wearing glasses. It's
one of the things no one's talking about actually is how New Vegasy, how much they're going back to the classic. The character doesn't talk. No one's talking about that.
yeah.
There's no voice dialogue for the character, which is great because I hated that in Fallout 4. Not that I didn't think it would be a big deal for me, but that was one of the things when I play like a psychopathic, murderous, idiot. I kind of don't want my character going, "Where's my son? My son!" When I'm like this like psychopath raider girl,
Yeah.
So that was kind of that took me out of it a little. And then just like the speech checks, the way the camera zooms in on whoever you're talking to in dialogue, Like that's very Fallout esque, New Vegasy type shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's very old school RPG. It's not gonna be like as brutal as a bunch of old school RPGs. I think like this seems like it's gonna be like an action game primarily with a bunch of RPG aspects to it. But I'm okay with that, especially since like these skills can get so varied. Like going through that point where they're talking about backgrounds and stuff, like oh, it's crazy. Like here's some backgrounds that have like skills you can start with, or you can like choose some skills from a list. Um, oh my god, there's so much cool stuff like to look at here, dude. I can't wait to see like how this game plays out. Also, can we talk about the aesthetic really quick? What do they call it? Like NASA punk? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, yeah,
Which is like I've never heard that term before. They just made it up. But basically, the idea is that oh, these are like realistic, quote unquote, like space travel. Um, so stuff that like you could actually see happening is the idea here. Like they're kind of bulky, very big spaceships with
yeah.
standard like LED displays, and I like it. I like the look here. I like the look a
I
lot.
like
This
that
seems like really bulky.
they have a really grounded idea of what they want the game to be, because they're not going
Yeah,
into this. A lot of people were like, we're the aliens. I want to fuck all the aliens." But I think
yeah.
that's not really what they're not going for, like a Mass Effect type shit where it's just all these aliens and shit. It is more of a realistic approach to what our own universe is like, or what we already imagine it to be, which is like we're probably the only that we know of intelligent life forms that exist. So there's not going to be all these crazy alien life forms you're going to be having discussions with and talking about their how their cultures are and shit like that. They're not really doing that. At least it doesn't seem like it from what
Or
they
if there
showed.
are, or if there are, let's be realistic here. Like if there is like life out there, it's gonna take in a totally different evolutionary path from us that it's going to be something we probably can't even like comprehend. You know what I mean? Like every
Yeah,
alien we see, every intelligent alien in like sci-fi is like a bipedal, green skin.
yeah,
They look like humans, but we're going based on our limited imagination of what sentient life looks like to us. And that doesn't always mean that that's what they're going to look like, elsewhere.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
want to see a sci-fi game where the aliens are like fucking crazy, where they look like just completely fucking Cthulhu creatures, but they're like totally sentient, as just as intelligent as we are. But they had a whole different evolutionary path than we did, so they're not bipedal, they're not like human looking. They probably don't
yeah.
speak with
Well, that's
mouths
the
like we
thing. Like
do, or eat like we do.
Mass Effect kind of has some of that, where
Kind
like
of.
it's like the Hanar. Um, like they've got like that race that just they don't really speak, and they speak with like emotions almost.
Yeah, like the Elcor. They don't have like
Yeah,
they don't have like emotions in their language because they speak through like how do they describe it? They speak through like pheromones or something.
yeah,
So when they talk to people, they have like a chip that like translates that to text to dialogue, but they can't display emotion. They have to say like what they're feeling.
yeah,
Like I want to see stuff like that. Like I want because that's like an outlier in Mass Effect. When in reality, that should be like the standard. Like there's a whole other planet like millions of light years away from us that have taken a totally different path of evolution of existence than we did.
yeah,
So they should be like completely unsimilar to us, like in every way.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I want to see more of.
That level is just, I think it's unrealistic to expect from a game like this, where it is so
Yeah,
vast and procedurally generated that I don't
yeah,
think you could probably handcraft some of that stuff, but it would just be way out of the scale of what is going on here. So I can
yeah. But
understand.
what is here? Yeah, but what is here though is like super cool. I kind of got sidetracked. I talked about like the stuff that could be, but what is here is fucking cool. Like, there's a lot of content to play through here. The combat looks fucking fun. Like, let's be honest here. It looks like a
Yeah,
fun game. It's got jetpacks in it, so that's cool. Fucking more games need jetpacks.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
I fully plan on just cranking this to the max difficulty, which I never do in these games, but I just want to crank this up. I want to know what happens when you die. I mean, no one knows
Yeah.
really, but but I like in this game,
Yeah.
I just want to know what happens. There's so much stuff that they haven't talked about or shown yet. I still feel like they still have aces up their sleeve that they'll come back in like a month and be like, well, here's some more info that we've been holding back because like I want to know what happens. Like what happens when your ship gets destroyed? Like, can I just exit my ship? And if it gets destroyed, like what happens? Do I have to am I just out the ship? Am I fucked? Um, it's like shit like that where I'm just still curious about how it all works. It's like the ship, speaking of the ship, like the ship crafting is insane. It's insane. It's awesome. Like you piece together these pieces on the outside and it affects the inside, the interior of the ship as well. So you can create these
Yeah.
spaces. Your ship is like your mobile home almost.
Yeah, it's so cool. I've never seen anything like that before. Like this is so neat, man. It all exists in this like three-dimensional space, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like how can I word it?
Like a
It's
gummy
not
ship
like
on.
XCOM. Yeah. Like the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, it's an actual ship you could like that has form and function. Like you're gonna be able to go through it. Your crew's gonna be in it. You're gonna sleep in it. You're gonna
Yeah.
eat in it. You're gonna fuck in it. Like this is your home. And so you got to build it out to keep that in mind. Not just building this aesthetic, putting a paint job on it, deciding what it's going to look like. This is like where you're going to live. And the internals reflect that with where you place everything, how you place it down. So I got to think now, like, how is that actually going to run? Like, they were showing off like some of the ships they built. Like, oh, I built a mech. Like, how is that going
Yeah.
to fly? Is that going to affect like how it flies now? Like, if you don't make it aerodynamic, like I don't know. Like I don't. I'm probably putting more thought to this than like there actually is. But I'm impressed to see this. I really want to see like more of that shipbuilding. Like people are gonna make flying cocks with this game. Like
Oh
it, I
yeah.
know it.
Oh
Like
yeah. I mean, they don't even have to go far. That's one of the big things about that gets me excited is even even with the mod support that this is gonna have. Fucking just thinking about that made me jizz
oh
in my
yeah,
pants because I was like, there's so much stuff here that modders can just add on. You can just be the guy that just makes ship parts. You know what I mean? You can be the modder that's just like just loves ships, and you can just make ship parts and just share that with people.
yeah,
Um, or you can just be the guy that just makes like weapon attachments. You can just be the gun guy that just makes like there's so much content in the base game already, I'm sure, but even with mods it's just going to be even so much more that you just it's going to boggle your mind. So
yeah, dude. I can't wait for this game. There's gonna be so much cool stuff here in the game, like what the community makes with it. Um, this seems like the game that like what's that fucking game Obsidian did that was like their take on Fallout? You know what I'm talking about? Outer
the Outer
Worlds.
Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, this is like the game everyone thought Outer Worlds was gonna be. And Outer Worlds is a good game, don't get me wrong. I think it's a pretty good game, but like you're right. Like Outer Worlds didn't have that Bethesda like size and scale.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think I missed until I watched this, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. That's the other thing is they're making a sequel to that game too, so
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is going to be when we've got this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I just don't like what are they going to do with that? But
yeah.
I mean, maybe they just make a smaller game again. Maybe, you know, some just it's just much
Maybe.
more scaled down and more focused. But this is what I want, though. This is what I wanted out of Mass Effect, out of Destiny, out of No Man's Sky, all in one.
Yeah. And you can do that in here because they've already gone through, like, there's a ton of things you can do. You could, like, trade with other ships, or if you want to, like, fucking raid them, you can do that. Be a pirate if you want.
Yeah,
Um, you can shoot ships down and, like, sell their scrap. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff you can do here if you want to play it that way. And it's really cool to see, man. God, I'm super into this. Like,
I was kind of hoping that there would be like a multiplayer component to this or something. Like in the back of my mind, I was thinking, "Oh, this is what Fallout 76 was testing, right? They were like just using that as like a test bed for some actual multiplayer shit right here." But they haven't come out and said any of that. But that was what
yeah,
was in the back of my mind. It was like, oh, Fallout 76 was just that was just the beta test for this. Uh,
yeah. But
but
they haven't announced anything yet for it. Honestly, I don't mind if it doesn't have this like massive multiplayer system like 76 does. I prefer like more like 2 to 4 player co-op, maybe like invite some friends to play with you instead of having like followers. Well, that would
yeah,
kind of fuck with the story a little bit if like you didn't have followers anymore and it was you and your buddies going through the campaign.
yeah. There's just so much shit
Yeah.
that I'm like, it would be a bummer if there's no one to share this with. I don't know. It was almost like, well, you're doing all of this, but surely there's like you could invite someone else to kind of help you, or I don't know. In the back of my mind, I was like, this should be at least like two people should be able to do this. But
Yeah, I agree. But what's really cool though is like this game has oh, we haven't even talked about the combat yet. It has a ton of different weapons to choose from, different combat options. It showed off like later in the combat description that like oh like ballistic weapons like can push you around in zero gravity and are less
yeah,
stable, but energy weapons don't have that kickback, so you can use them in zero G. Like, and the gravity's different for every planet too, so like that's gonna fuck with the combat too. It's like, oh my god, there's so much stuff here. Like, I'm like smiling, like thinking about all the stuff we can do.
yeah,
Oh my god, dude! Like, this is incredible, man. The combat looks really good. Like watching them like fly around in zero G with a jetpack on, just shooting dudes from the air is really cool. Oh my god, like
yeah.
there's a lot to talk about, but I'm
I just
excited
want to
for all of
see
it.
I just want to see the because yeah, again, there's so much shit that that they haven't shown. Like at the very end, they tease like you have like a magic power where the guy like holds his hand out and everyone just fucking explodes. And you're like, what was that? And then they just go, well, thanks for joining us. And you're like, wait a minute, what was that? Like, so there's still more in this game that they haven't shown. So I'm still excited to see even more of this. It's this has been my most anticipated game for quite some time, and then after seeing this, it's solidified. I pre-ordered it. Yeah, I'm not fuck. I'm the piece of trash that pre-ordered this game. So
Why would you pre-order it? It's gonna be on Game Pass, bro.
because you don't want that version, you don't want that version
Why not?
for the sake of modding. You do not want the Game Pass
Oh,
version. Yeah, you have to have the it's the way like Skyrim's on Game Pass, like Fallout 4 is on Game Pass. Those versions are not moddable at all. So
okay, okay, I'll
yeah,
give you that.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I have to buy this, and yeah, it comes with the expand. They already have an expansion that's announced. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is it, man. You're never gonna see me again when this comes out. I'm gone.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for this coming out. What, September?
September. If you pre-order it, that's the other thing. If you pre-order the whatever edition, you get 5 days early. So September 1st.
Mm, I'll be fine. I'll
Yeah.
play it on Game Pass when it comes out. But no, this looks good. Looks incredible. It's very expansive. There's so much thought put into like every single aspect of this game, dude. Like,
I
oh
mean,
my god.
Todd Howard's been saying that he's always wanted to make this game since he's like, this is like his dream game. And you can tell, man, that they've, at the very least, they've learned from all of their previous games. They've learned what makes a good Bethesda RPG, and they're taking everything they've learned. Even a lot of names, I like that they've shown all of the developers and the the people working on the game. They showed them like talking about it, and you can tell that they all really care about what they're working on here, because it really shows. So it really seems like this is something coming out of passion. You know what I mean? I like to see that. So I think
same. I love seeing the passion in it. I love seeing every time they talk about a feature, like everyone's so excited talking about a feature. And I'm like excited, like here, go talk about it.
Yeah. There was a part
like this is gonna be this like huge game that I can't wait to experience, man.
IGN did an interview with Todd Howard where they asked him what his favorite thing is, because he didn't do one in one of these in the supercut at the end. And they asked him what his favorite thing that happened to him when he was playing, and he was like, he said some shit that everyone didn't understand was possible. I guess he didn't even know it was possible when he was talking about it. But he was like, yeah, I was on a planet walking around, and a pirate ship landed and started attacking, and we were like, well, okay, I didn't even know that was a thing. You didn't show that happening. And then after that, he was like, yeah, so I started shooting them back, and when they landed, I ran into their ship and started shooting them from the ship, and then the ship took off, and then I was in space. And then I think everyone who like read that part of the interview was like, that can happen. He even says in the interview, he was like, that can happen. I guess that can happen. And it's just like everyone thought there was like a loading screen in between the, when you take off and you land from the planets. Everyone thought there was like a loading screen, or there was a thing that happens like you can't actually do that. But it was just interesting that he didn't even know that you could just, I guess it was that seamless. I don't know, man. This game is just like, the way they're talking about it, it feels like we still don't know what the fuck this game is, even though they've shown so much. And that's cool. Like on the watch, not on the watch, but like they show this watch here, but the watch is the compass in the game. And if you look at the compass in the game, there's like health and like oxygen meters, and there's CO2 meters and shit like that. I think the CO2 meter is like your stealth bar. Oh, you know what? That's probably your health. Like the oxygen is probably like your health bar, and the other one's probably your stamina bar. Now that I think about it, I didn't think about that, but I thought it was like a survival thing. Like if you're caught in space without your ship or something, your oxygen is going to deplete until you find something. But it makes more sense that it's probably just your health bar.
We don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff they haven't talked about yet.
Yeah,
they're probably like waiting to show that stuff off later.
Because I was thinking maybe it'd be like survival aspects. You know how it is in No Man's Sky, where it's like some of these environments are hostile. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised they put like a survival mode in there. Like Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 have like a hardcore mode.
Yeah,
you have to pay attention to like food, water, and survivability. I wouldn't be surprised they added an option like that later. Like, or if it's a selectable option at the start of the game. Like, I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. There's still a lot they haven't talked about yet, so I can't wait. Like, I was when I heard Starfield coming out initially, I was like, another Bethesda game. Okay, whatever. But after seeing this, I'm like, fuck. I'm like super into it now. Um, yeah, dude, bring it on. I can't wait till it comes out. I'm gonna play the shit out of that when it drops too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm upgrading my PC just for this game. So
Do we know the spec, the recommended specs for it yet?
they do have it listed on Steam, and actually, for the first time ever on Steam, there's for storage. It says SSD required. Well, I don't know if
Oh
I don't know if
yeah,
that's the first time ever. It was the first time I've seen that. It says SSD required on Steam, even for the minimum requirements. So that's very
yeah,
interesting, considering not even Ratchet and Clank said SSD required, and
yeah.
you would expect that for the shit that it's doing with the load times and shit. So I'm curious about that.
Oh yeah. I want to see how that comes in. It's interesting to see that. You're right. I've never seen SSD required on like anything before.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
ooh,
I know
excited.
Star Citizen requires an SSD. Now you can play that game without an SSD, but you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah,
So it's not like it's explicitly required, but it's more like you're gonna want one. So
yeah.
um yeah. So that'll be interesting. Again, there's more to this game that they haven't shown so or talked about, and that just makes me even
I
more
wonder if I need to
curious.
upgrade my rig now. I'm running a 2070 and they're recommending a 2080. So I'm like, ugh.
Oh,
I should be fine, right? No, probably not.
I'd probably be
Damn it.
fine. Like I mean, it's targeting 30 FPS and shit. I mean, if you want to play it at its full glory, you're probably gonna want to upgrade, but play it on your Xbox.
Fuck that. I've been meaning to upgrade my card for a while. I can probably find a 3060 for. Well, if I'm going to upgrade, I might as well just go all in, right?
Yeah.
Just go into like the 40 series cards. I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about like upgrading my shit. And I really don't want to start thinking about that because that's just like, ah, damn it. I don't want to think about this.
yeah, yeah.
Shit. I don't want to have to upgrade my shit. I really don't want to upgrade my shit.
I mean, you
Um,
can see how it runs when the game comes out, or I'm sure there'll be like
yeah,
reviews that say, yeah, you're this scales pretty well on whatever hardware you got.
yeah. I can just wait till it comes out and like put some money aside up until then, like every paycheck, put like $50 here, $100 there.
Yeah,
So that way, when it does come out, if it doesn't run it real well, I can just have the money aside to upgrade my shit. But we'll see. See what happens. Um, yeah, dude, this game looks incredible. I can't wait for this to come out. Anything they put out talk about this game, I'm going to be watching with very deep interest.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
some quickie news: PS5 game streaming news update for premium members. They're adding PS5 streaming to PS5 consoles only. That's
Yeah.
what?
So this comes in from they put out they announced like the game catalog update for June, and then I guess in
Yeah.
here is like some like an anniversary of the new PlayStation Plus anniversary. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna announce some stuff within this thing, and within that they announced streaming. Uh, where is it? Oh, they don't even have a headline for it. They're just like, hey, you're gonna be able to stream some shit from PS5. You're gonna be able to stream PS5 games to your PS5. And then, so when I read that, I was like, why would you do, why even bother? What's the point of that? What is the
Yeah,
point of that?
exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, why?
Even if you're the kind of person that has, I don't know, bandwidth limitations, wouldn't it be worse if you're streaming? Or I guess maybe you have storage limitations, but yeah, do you really want to like a degraded experience with streaming? I just don't understand why you would want to do that when you already have the PS5 and you can just play the fucking game. And
Yeah, exactly.
there's also games that are already on the catalog too. So it's not like games that are not available anywhere else, but it's on streaming. It's like, no, these are already, you can just download these already, but you're streaming. So I don't know. Maybe if you just want to like try it for like a couple minutes and be like, I don't want to waste time downloading this, I guess. But that's not really. I was hoping that they were gonna say you were adding it to the PC streaming. You could stream on PC. It's still, you can still do that. Uh, but I don't think there's PS5 games on there though. So yeah, maybe they're just testing stuff. I don't know, but that's the thing now. If you're excited for that,
Yeah,
you can do that.
yeah. If you somehow you got a PS5, there's a game on there you don't want to buy, I guess you could stream it. But
Their
yeah, I don't
whole
know.
streaming thing is very
Yeah,
poorly conceived. I think when they have this dedicated streaming handheld, you're like, you guys are missing. You guys are missing the what's happening right now on the streets.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They seem very like far behind of what everyone else is doing. Um, we'll see what happens, man. Like, I doubt it's gonna like get anyone's attention. Um, Steam Next Fest is gonna be from June 19th, June 26th.
Yeah.
Sabi will be doing a demo derby marathon Tuesday, June 20th.
Yeah.
I'm off Tuesday, so I might hop in and hang out with you. Depends on if my son wants to be cool or not. Um, no, we just got him his just got some shots. He just got took some shots
Oh, nice.
and yeah, not like alcohol shots, but like vaccines and other stuff. And yeah, he's not taking it well. That kid is like not happy with that trip to the doctors. Um, so we'll see. Actually, Tuesday I might have to take him in to get like a COVID vaccine. So we'll see what happens. Um,
Oof. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see what happens. If
A
not,
lot
I'll
of
pop
good.
in, stay high for a little bit.
A lot of good demos up already. I got the Lies of P demo ready to go.
Oh, I tried playing that. It's fucking hard as shit. Like, I tried playing it, dude. I really did. I tried to like it, and I'm like, I'm not having fun here. I'm just getting my ass kicked.
Oh,
Um,
what do you like?
it's weird because like the main like the main stuff is okay. Like just the enemies aren't giving me problems. When I get to a boss, I get my fucking shit pushed in. Like I was playing through, I was like, this is a pretty easy Souls like I was feeling, and then I got to a boss and it fucking handed my ass to me, dude. And I'm like, okay, this is like the difficulty scaling here is like insane, going from like regular enemies to a boss. Like
Well,
this is.
that's what's supposed to happen.
But with other Souls games, it's kind of hard from the beginning, so you get an idea of like what you're getting into. But with this, it's like, oh, this is kind of easy. I'm not really having a difficult time here. And the boss comes in and fucking ruins my whole day. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I just need to be in the right headspace to try it. Like, I don't know what it is with these types of games, dude. Because like, I don't mind like hard games. Like I said, I don't mind a challenge in some games, but something about Souls games just they don't vibe with me. I don't know what it is. Um, I don't know if it's the combat or what, but no, this is a lot faster than like other combats. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Um,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be
but
doing that
yeah,
on Tuesday. Hopefully, my graphics card is here by then. but
Yeah.
if not, it's whatever. But yeah, I got that demo.
I'll
I
hop
got
in and say hi.
Just Ant. I got that. They showed that off during the Microsoft showcase, the Xbox showcase, which is it's a Don't Nod joint that we didn't know was coming.
Oh yeah,
It showed that it's the climbing game. That's on there. So there's some stuff on there already, even though it hasn't started yet officially.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, there's some cool stuff on there. Do you know if that Banishers game is gonna be on there? That's another Don't Nod game that like it was like an action
Banishers?
RPG. Yeah. I think that's what it was called. Hold on.
That Don't Nod?
Yeah. Hold on, where is it?
Banishers Ghost of New Eden?
Yeah, yeah, there it is. I was trying to find it.
Oh, it is Don't Nod. What the fuck? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like an
I've
action
even heard of
RPG.
this. What the fuck is this?
Really? It was they played it I think it was at the Summer Games Fest presentation like last week and a half ago.
I mean, I didn't watch everything that was going on during this.
I had it playing in the background and yeah, this came up and it was like from Don't Nod and I was like, okay. And then I started seeing the gameplay and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is like an action game. Like, it looks like a really good action game too. Yeah, I guess I'll keep an eye open for that. The demo derby. Steam Next Fest.
Yeah, it
I'll
almost
keep an
looks
eye open. If
like,
there's anything like it's worth checking out.
I don't know why, but it looks like to me like the Order 1886. Remember that shit? For some reason, the main character looks like that guy.
The main character looks like that guy, but the gameplay kind of reminds me of like God of War. The camera's a
Oh,
little bit farther away.
interesting. Don't Nod is like stepping it up. Why the fuck? Who they got working on these shits? They have 3 games now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They're not like a huge developer, right? So
Uh,
you know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of like, um, God damn it, those the Mordor games because you got like this ghost with you.
oh, like Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Uh, no, like Mordor, the Lord of the Ring games
Yeah,
from WB. Yeah,
yeah,
because you got that ghost with you. But the combat kind of reminds you of like the new God of War with the way the camera, but the camera looks a little farther back.
yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought they're not a huge developer, right? So like, who the fuck is making these? Oh well, whatever. It looks cool. That definitely caught my eye when I was watching that Game Fest. But yeah, Steam Next Fest, June 19th, June 26th. Be here to watch Wasabi run a Demo Derby Marathon June 20th. Like I said, I might hop in, say hi, depending on how my son's feeling. Here's the spot where we talk about trailers and videos, but there's nothing specific we put up here yet. A lot of stuff came out. We can't realistically talk about all of them. So
Yeah.
that PC show had some really cool stuff, but not enough was shown off to like really get me excited.
Yeah. I was just I spent my time just watching that Starfield. I watched that like 9 times. Like I even I even did like frame by frame on some sections. Like when they were looking at the skill trees, I like frame by framed it because they like moused over a lot of the stuff but didn't show any of it. But it all like popped up so you could see
Yeah.
the descriptions. So I like frame by framed a lot of it. I fucking dissected the fuck out of that shit. So
They did announce. I think they announced Path of Exile 2 PC showcase.
well, that was announced for several years now. They've
No, they
announced
showed
that.
off an actual like teaser trailer
yeah,
though.
they announce that every year. Yeah, so I've been wanting V2 of that for a while. The problem is we still don't know when it's coming.
It fucking looks like Diablo. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, well, it's always looked like
The
Diablo.
teaser?
They've
But this looks
upgraded.
more like Diablo.
They're
Like,
upgrading the graphics significantly, and like the speed of it. They're upgrading the graphics and the speed. It's gonna be a lot faster.
yeah, but this specifically, like if someone had told me this is like Diablo 4 or like an expansion for Diablo 4, I would have believed it.
Yeah, yeah. No, they keep showing teasers of this. This is just another one that is a bummer, man. Because I like Path of Exile. I like what they're doing with 2, which is just it's just gonna be an add-on for the base game.
Oh yeah,
it's just gonna be an update. Yeah, like so, like Overwatch 2. It's technically just the first game, just updated. But yeah, it's I want it. I want it.
yeah, dude, me too. I'm just looking for like a really good ARPG to like play right now, but I don't think I'm gonna have that till I play Diablo 4. Um, but yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about. So many trailers have come out. Let us know if there's anything you guys want us to talk about specifically, but I said we could move on to like game releases. I just think there's something specific you want to go over.
um, the only thing I'll talk about is the Ubisoft shit. Ubisoft showed. I didn't put this in the notes. I didn't put anything in the notes because there was just so much bullshit that
Yeah.
ultimately I don't think I really care about that much. If I'm being honest, a lot of shit got shown, and Starfield was like the only thing that I was like, "Yep, that's what I'm looking for." Aside from like the indie shit, but the indies always they've been killing it for a while. But Ubisoft showed like this Avatar game. Is anyone excited for fucking Avatar?
I don't know. I'm not.
That movie, like, I feel like that movie was just like, it was okay, like the original movie. I didn't feel like that was a thing that you could just build a franchise on, but I guess that's what they're doing. So when
The
Ubisoft showed,
potential's there to build a franchise off of it because the world is so like big,
yeah,
but I don't think the interest is there to build a franchise on it, is the thing.
or is it because that's what they're doing? Oh, so now it's like this game is coming out, and it's like it's a Far Cry.
Yeah,
It's a first person.
basically.
It's a first person Avatar game.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about
Which,
that, I'm
yeah,
like,
it's like why?
yeah, uh,
Like the whole point of like Avatar is like this big cool blue alien thing, and to
yeah,
not be able to see that is
yeah.
like why?
But it's
um,
like Far Cry. It's like Far Cry mixed with like if it was like a first person Horizon, uh, and that's what the game
you could
is.
just say it's a Ubisoft game. It's an open world Ubisoft game, but with an Avatar skin. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's what it is. Like if you played an open world Ubisoft game, that's what this is. It's first. It's a Avatar mod for Far Cry. Um, I don't know. I'm probably like being kind of harsh on it, but Ubisoft has this like kind of copy paste design to a lot of its open world stuff that I really don't care. When a new Ubisoft game gets announced, I really just couldn't care less. Um, but this looks really cool. Like, no, it doesn't. I'm trying to find a positive in it. It looks very generic. I watched both Avatar movies. I saw the first one back when it came out. I fucked up and saw it at home on my like TV, so I couldn't see what the big deal was. I saw the sequel on like IMAX 3D, and that was cool for like the experience. But after I left the movie, I was like, all right, I'm done. Um, a lot of people were like super into it. And we're like, oh, I'm sad I can't go back to that. And I'm like, really though? Like, are you really? Um,
yeah.
but
You
yeah,
hear
it's a
like
movie.
you hear a story of people. It's like, man, I watched it 17 times in the theater. Man, it gets better every time. And I'm like,
No, it doesn't.
what?
It does not. That is not the kind of movie that holds up after multiple watches. That movie, you got to watch it like one time, the best possible experience, like 3D, like XD, whatever, IMAX. and then like you sit there, you watch it in that cool tech, and after that, like you never think about it again after. Like I said, I saw the sequel and it was like it was okay, but that movie definitely ran on a lot longer than it needed to. Um,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine like being that into it to like go get a game. But we'll see, I guess. Like maybe there is like a fucking market for these, but I don't know. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
John Carpenter has a game coming out that looks cool. Toxic Commando. I put a thing in the staff chat.
Oh.
Honestly, it looks like Left 4 Dead, but John Carpenter's name's on it, so I'm like, okay. Those of you who don't know, John Carpenter's a huge like horror movie director. He directed the Thing remake way back when. It's one of my favorite movies. He did Escape from New York, another one of my favorite movies. Fun fact: he's actually like a huge gamer. I didn't know that till like a couple years ago. But no, that dude fucking loves video games, and he's always wanted to do like a video game movie.
Yeah.
And he's gone on record saying he would love to do a Dead Space movie, and I would like suck dick to watch him do a Dead Space movie. If I'm being honest with you. But
Oh,
no, he's got this
this
game coming out,
trailer.
Toxic Commando. Yeah, he's got this game
This.
that's being worked on by Saber and Focus Interactive, and
Yes.
I don't know how much call he actually has in the game. If his name's on it for marketing stuff, or if he's actually like helping with it. At least maybe some music. He does music too, so but whatever.
Yeah. It's hard to really tell what this game is. I did see this and I thought it was interesting. Um. Yes, it seems like a more open Left 4 Dead,
Yeah,
just from like the vehicles and shit. But it's hard to really tell what the fuck it is.
yeah. So that's why I'm kind of interested in it again, just because like John Carpenter is like one of my like idols. That man has made some fantastic movies.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I said, fucking Halloween, Escape from New York, The Thing, fucking Big Trouble Little China, They Live. John Carpenter's Vampires also came out like 1998. One of the best vampire movies like ever. Go watch it. Did not age well, that fucking movie, like at all. a lot of problematic language there. Hookers get smacked around a lot in that movie, so if that's like a trigger for you, like don't watch it. But the game is very disrespectful to women. Or that movie's very disrespectful to women. It's probably one of the better vampire movies I've seen in a very long time. Um, Or was I going with this? Yeah. He's got a cape coming out. We don't know a lot about it. So they come out 2024, but I just want to talk about it because anything that man works on, I pay attention to. Um, some game releases. Aliens Dark Descent is dropping June 20th for fucking everything. That's like that twin stick shooter game, right? Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Is it a twin
Yeah, it's
stick?
like an isometric. I think it's like an isometric shooter. It's an action game. I
Dude,
know
what the
that. It's
fuck
not
is
like turn
Focus?
based.
This is the third. Dude, everything's being made by Focus Entertainment right now. They're like publishing everything. This, the fucking John Carpenter game they were on, and the Don't Nod game.
Oh yeah, they also did a bunch of Warhammer stuff like Bolt Gun and Necromunda. What else did they do?
How are they like ramping up right now? They're just publishing everything they can get their hands on.
That's what it looks like.
This looks like that game that came out. You remember when like, oh, no one remembers this. Back when Steam like first became Steam, and started like publishing other games on the or selling other games on the platform. There was one game that Valve made called I think it was called Alien Swarm, and this looks exactly like that fucking game. And it was a Valve game too. Uh, People forget about that, but it was like it
I
was
didn't know that game.
basically
Yeah.
this. It looks exactly like this. On the Alien Swarm.
Holy shit. Yeah. It looks just like this. Well, I can see that like the problem with Alien is that Alien itself is so iconic and inspired so many things that pretty much anything out there having to do with like sci-fi was probably inspired by Alien, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised like Alien Storm was like, oh, here's like an isometric action game inspired by Alien.
Yeah.
And then here's an isometric action game that's, you know, part of the Alien franchise. I'm not surprised they look similar. Um, so I'll give this new game the benefit of the doubt, but this game came out in like 2010 and it doesn't look like much better, and it doesn't look that much worse than like what Alien Dark Descent looks like.
Yeah. So this looks okay.
Yeah, it looks okay. Like that's what you wanted. The thing I don't understand is that like it says it's an action game and it looks like an action game, but the tag for it says it's an RTS, which that's not what it is, right? Like it's not an RTS, or is it?
Maybe it has like
Kind of a small scale.
Yeah, maybe it has one of those systems where you like pause the action and then like set shit up.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like. I'm looking at it here. It's got like a small scale, like RTS system to it.
This game is $40.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, XCOM's like $60, so I'm not gonna be like.
Is this single? This is single player, so that's probably the thing. Is you have this squad, and you probably like set them up and issue orders.
Yeah. In real time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But yeah, you can check that out when it comes out June 20th on like everything. On the opposite of the spectrum, we also have Crash Team Rumble releasing on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X.
Yeah.
Basically everything but PC and Switch.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Two very important platforms, I think, when you put out a game like this. Oh, this is a $30 game.
So. Yeah, it's like I don't want to say a Smash like because it's not like 2D like Smash is. It's not like one of those Smash style games, but it's definitely like a competitive party game. It reminds me a little bit of like Power Stone maybe, but like less intense and with teams of players.
No trailer on this page.
Yeah, I had to pull it up on YouTube.
I hate using Steam has made me hate every other storefront, dude, for games. Like, give me a trailer, give me like reviews on the page, give me everything I need to know.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see when this comes out. I don't think it's gonna be like this hot new thing, but yeah, it looks all right. June 21st, you got Dr. Fetus Mean Meat Machine from Team Meat. That's coming out on got pretty much everything. Yeah, everything. PS4, Switch, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, PC. And yeah, you ever played God damn it. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine that looks very similar to that, but
yeah,
like a platformer almost because there's like
it's got obstacles and shit in the course.
Yeah, you have to maneuver through. Yeah, it's not only are you like trying to like line up blocks, you're also trying to avoid these obstacles too.
I was never good at these games, these like Dr. Mario games. Never good at them.
I thought I was good at them, but I'm not. If I play anything like harder than like normal, I get my ass kicked. So I'm definitely not good at these.
Like Puyo.
There's like a meta to these that I don't understand.
There was they put out this Puyo Puyo Tetris game where it combines Tetris and Puyo Puyo, and
I heard about that.
Really good at the Tetris part. It's a lot. Because you can either choose to play just Puyo Puyo or just play Tetris, or there's a mode that combines them both, and the Tetris pieces can like crush the Puyo pieces, or they can like interact with each other in different ways. It's like it's really well thought out, really well made.
Yeah, let's check it out. I heard good things about it, but
Yeah,
again, I'm not good at these types of games, so.
yeah,
But yeah, this looks cool. Anything that these devs put out, honestly, like I love me some Super Meat Boy, so anything like attached to that, I'll probably check out.
yeah.
Um, Up next, also releasing June 21st, Final Fantasy 16. I forgot that was coming out like super
Dude,
soon.
dude,
Um,
if there was anything that would get me to buy a PS5, it would be this. The way people are talking about this
Same.
fucking game.
Dude, I know. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like everyone's talking about this, the next coming of Jesus or something. And it looks good, don't get me wrong, like, but I can't try it. I don't have a PS5, so I can't try the demo.
yeah,
But I've heard like everyone is talking about it. Like there's a lot of YouTubers I follow that are like, oh, Final Fantasy hasn't been good since 10, and they play the demo and they're like, holy shit, this is incredible. So yeah, man, we'll see when it comes out. If there's anything to get me to buy a PS5, definitely would have been this. I'm gonna have to wait for it to come out on PC like a year later at full price because that's how fucking Sony games roll.
yeah. But Square's been when they do put it on PC, it's usually the best version. It'll have all the bells and
Yeah,
whistles.
yeah. So we'll see when it comes out. I'm not gonna pick it up day one. I'm gonna pick it up on PC like a year later. Um, and let's keep this Don't Nod train going. Another Don't Nod game releasing June 21st, Harmony: The Fall of
Yeah,
Reverie for PS5 and Series X. This is like what I expect Don't Nod to be doing.
yeah.
You know?
It's like, and this is what the only game they've announced this. They've had this announced for a while, so you thought it was the only game that they were
Yeah.
doing.
But no,
So
they got like a bunch of games coming out.
yeah,
So
um,
go check that out when it drops June 21st. Another, Don't Nod, story rich, choices matter game.
actually,
So,
this is already out on Steam. I guess there's already reviews. It's mostly positive.
oh shit, yeah, it's already out on Steam. Looks
Yeah,
like it's just coming out to console later.
yeah. So I guess it's good. It's got an
Huh.
83,
Yeah,
83 on Open
yeah,
Critic.
yeah, I guess it is good.
Huh.
Um, what else we got here? We also got
Sonic Origins
yeah,
Plus.
sorry, I got distracted with something else. Sonic Origins Plus is coming out for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Is this an update to the? No, that was Sonic Mania that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Sonic?
So what's
What's this
Sonic
game?
Origins?
Yeah.
Good question. It's a remake of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and CD. It's a
Oh,
remaster.
then what's Origins Plus then?
Origins Plus is an update that uh I don't know. Oh, it adds 12 Sonic Game Gear titles.
Oh,
So it adds Sonic Drift 2, Sonic Triple Trouble, Tails' Adventure, and more.
yeah, Spinball's on here.
Uh,
Oh shit. Okay.
as Amy Rose is playable Amy Rose. So just adds more stuff.
Okay. Well, there we go. That's pretty cool.
It's a $10 expansion.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
The reviews on this are mixed. Like, why?
yeah. For the base game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh well. Like, this looks cool. Like, if I was a Sonic fan, I'd be super excited for this. Um, But yeah, that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. That's everything. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, for coming in to say hi and listen to us talk about Starfield forever. um, this has been cool. I can't wait for that game. Is there anything you guys want us to talk about? Let us know in the Discord. Wasabi will tell the people where they can find us in a little bit. But yeah, come check us out in the Discord. Rick Ryan, good games to talk about. Sabi, do your thing.
Gameoverse.com, gameoverse.com/Twitch, gameoverse.com/YouTube, gameoverse.com/Discord. Hop in the Discord, talk to us, have a chat, stay a while, and listen. Play some Diablo with if I can get a group with this Diablo guys and we just run some dungeons, I would love to do that.
Eventually.
Eventually.
I'll get Diablo 4 eventually.
Yeah. You're gonna never see your child again, dude. After Diablo, it's gonna be over. Dude, there's actually, I'm gonna talk about this for a second. There's on the subreddit, on the Diablo 4 subreddit, now they've gone into dads. They're saying Diablo 4 is a perfect dad game. And there's this whole fucking thing of people going back and forth about dads and Diablo, and someone put up this huge post about why Diablo 4 is the perfect dad game, and I'll post this in the in the stream chat so you can have a little read, but it's pretty dope. It's pretty good, but
I'll check it out. I'll see what they say, because I don't think any games are really good dad games, because knows that a baby knows how much attention a baby needs. At least my son needs a lot of attention, so. But I'll check it out.
Yeah.
This was it, everybody. Thank you again.
Bye.
No, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing. It's just there's good back and forth between the dads and the non-dads about how terrible it is or how great it is for dads. That's all.
Oh shit! The fact that you can't pause it already makes you think this is a bad dad game. If you can't pause it, but
yeah. But that post I posted, that's the latest post from a dad about why it's good. So
I'll check it out.
That's all.
I'll check it out then. We'll see. As a dad, I'll see what they tell me.
That's all. Tuesday. Demo Derby on Tuesday. So join us for the Demo Derby. It's gonna be 12 straight hours of this video games, and it's always a blast. Always find some good stuff in there that I've never heard of before. So join us in there and chill out. And yeah, that's it, guys.
Yep. Be cool, everybody. Be safe. Be excellent to each other. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.